Alright, gentlemen and gentlemen, we are back for yet another video, and today the subclass that I chose is Solar Hunter. Throughout the course of this series, I've been learning a lot and learning more than I think I ever have about Crucible, and for starters, I just want to say that I was not sure if this was a build showcase or a loadout showcase because I used this entire time the Lethal Abundance auto rifle and a combination of Duality and Ariana's Vow. I dropped Ariana's Vow very, very soon during the play session. It just didn't make sense to complement an auto rifle that's high impact slow firing with yet another slow firing long range option. It just felt antithetical to itself, and also I was using the overload rounds artifact perk for the auto rifle when I would have much rather just had no artifact perk to take advantage of the radiant anti-barrier rounds that comes from being radiant all the time. It wasn't all good though, since near the beginning of this session I had a very quick and stiff reality check that I'm not the same player I used to be, and my first time and only time using Golden Gun throughout the duration of this play session, just observe.
Opponent claimed Zone A, Zone B captured, Zone C captured.
I immediately decided that I had enough with Golden Gun and switched over to Blade Barrage, and the rest was history. In the state of the meta, Blade Barrage is just way better than Golden Gun. Having the quick react capability, the instant shutdown potential of any and all supers, it just makes for the logical choice over Golden Gun unless you really want to go for that sharpshooter. And there, look, there's my best friend Void Warlock right there. Still garbage, but actually managed to kill me. This out of the way, it didn't take me very long to get into a quote-unquote flow state. Normally it takes a couple games for me to learn a subclass, but since I actually play Hunter, unlike Warlock or Titan, I think I am a bit more equipped to handle it, so it took a single game to get a handle of the loadout. And speaking of the loadout, I'm going to show specifically what I was using on screen right about now. The purpose of this build was to basically take a loadout where I was going to have 2 dodges at all times thanks to the exotic, the 6 Coyote, being able to spam acrobat dodge. I had 90 mobility. I didn't really feel the need to try to min-max to get 100 since I had already wasted all of my Destiny food stamps on masterworking material. But for the subclass itself, using the acrobat dodge, the triple jump, the weighted throwing knife, and I used either the incendiary grenade or the swarm grenade. I liked the incendiary a little bit better, but the swarm was a bit better for securing kills and locking off corridors. Now for the aspects, I used knock 'em down and on your mark just for the increased handling and reload speed, because the auto rifle Lethal Abundance does have a pretty slow reload speed comparatively. And for the fragments, I was using Ember of Char, Ember of Eruption, Ember of Searing, Ember of Torches, and Ember of Blistering. Now, this really wasn't for anything. I wasn't getting a whole heck of a lot of ability kills during my time, but when I was getting my abilities back very quickly, which is what I was going for, my dodge specifically, because having Radiant up all of the time was just too good to ignore. Despite how good Lethal Abundance was for me, I expected it to be good, and it was very good. Duality was just as, if not better, in carrying me. It was as essential to the build as becoming Radiant was. The shutdown potential of a slug shotgun, the ability to hip fire, spray and pray with the pellet, it is such a slept on exotic that I don't see enough people talking about. Now, I can kill static AFK Titans all day, every single day with the duality, but I feel that it is used best as a hipfire machine. The crosshairs are so clean, and it definitely doesn't look like something else. But both of these weapons just deal an absurd amount of damage, and combining it with the Solar Hunters on your mark and knock them down, just more stability, more range, more reload, just more of everything, combined with the double acrobatic dodge just to have Radiant up like as much as humanly possible, hitting 38 to the head and getting the Radiant for the inherent range boost that it does give shotguns. It was just it was a good build. That's pretty much all I can say about it, and I had a whole heck of a lot of fun with it. Now, For disclosure's sakes, I played exclusively in 6s, as you might be able to tell in the footage ahead. There's no good 3v3 game mode. I'm not really trying to go into comp right now, and I'm not taking this into Trials, because Trials isn't and wasn't active during the times when I was recording this video, since it's Iron Banner week. Maybe it performs different in 3s, but I'm mainly... It would have been nice to have a better damage perk on the Lethal Abundance, considering I was using backup mag, so I wasn't getting the full effects of target lock, but the only damage I needed was just being Radiant. That's the most I can say about it, and it's pretty glowing praise coming from me, being able to use an auto rifle in Crucible right now. It's still outgunned by most hand cannons, Rose, Thorn, and some pulse rifles too. Get the jump on it if you're just going at a one-on-one. It doesn't have the fastest time to kill, so you have to play a lot into the prediction game, and holding angles and just making sure you're playing your ranges as efficiently as possible, just so you can ensure that you're going to get the first shot, and if you get that first shot, oh baby, it is over for the person you're shooting at. Talking a bit more about the subclass, you know, I've obviously said my piece about Radiant. The solar grenades, I didn't use Trip Mine. I might have been able to use Trip Mine, I don't know, but I didn't. I really liked the Incendiary Grenade, just being able to bounce off walls and being able to get that quick timing and just having the extra solar scorch effect through walls. Swarm Grenade doesn't have the range that I needed, personally, but it was doing enough. It was really just doing enough. And the throwing knife, I preferred the proximity throwing knife. I switched to the weighted throwing knife near the end. However, the proximity throwing knife was just doing a lot, holding angles, just getting those like finishing final blows if I'm choking shots or running out of ammo. That's just where I was. Now, enough of my yapping. Where do I rank this subclass in comparison to the other subclasses? As much glazing as I have been doing about the Solar Hunter, I am actually going to put it in average. The strengths of Solar Hunter are more down to a player's skill, aka skill issue, and today I didn't have much skill issue, but the abilities for Solar Hunter specifically just weren't as good as Arc Titan, weren't as good as Strand Titan, weren't even as good as Arc Warlock, just in terms of carry potential, and definitely not even close to the level that Strand is on. So I'm forced to put it in average. It's not niche, it is a serviceable, good build, and it's our first average, so that's where it ranks. Obviously, it's better than Void Warlock. I think I'm just going to change this tier now to Void Warlock, just because it is the only subclass that I think is actually bad. So yeah, this is where we're at. Back to the rest of the app session. So here we are at the end of another video. I just want to thank everyone who's watched up to this point, and saying that I'm still working on all of these. I'm working on getting the right gear to finish off the remainder of the subclasses, which I haven't done yet. Specifically, Cough Cough Stasis Warlock. I'm having a hell of a time getting the correct set of gloves to be able to make that work, but I'm doing my due diligence, crossing my T's, dotting my I's, making sure I'm not coming out as misinformed as I have in the past, as some of you would say. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Later.